guys, just a quick one. As we expand and as we grow, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway of some sort. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you later. Hello and welcome to another video. This is my 50,000 simoleon build. I'm going to try and build a house with 50,000 simoleons, fully functioning, 3-bed, 2-bath house with a little bit of a garden as well. That's the plan anyway. I'm not overly good at putting in grassy areas and stuff like that, so that is something I'm going to be working on within this series. So yeah, I kind of wanted to make it because, I mean, you think 50,000, you think that's quite a lot of money within The Sims, but actually doesn't go a long way. Like, just putting in the perimeter fence, I use up over 15,000 simoleons. So yeah, it was a bit mental to build this one, but it was a lot of fun. So again, I wanted to make it functional. I wanted to make it so there was a reasonable amount of room. I thought, it's a small house on a reasonably big property, so I thought you're paying more for the land than anything. So 50,000 simoleons isn't going to build you a massive house, but there's room to expand within this lot. So it's a 40 by 30 lot, I believe, in Oasis. I think it's in Oasis Springs anyway. But yeah, so I make sure that there's a good sized kitchen. I was planning on 3 levels, 3 stories, but money didn't allow. I did try and have a garage, but it was a bit too. There wasn't enough money in the kitty, so I had to get rid of the garage, unfortunately. But again, there's a lot of space. So if my sim was to get a job and work really hard, get a couple of promotions, start raking in the simoleons, then growth is exponential. So but no, so I made sure that there was a decent kitchen, a decent space for eating. I realised that there wasn't that much space for a lounge, so I kind of I add a lounge in somewhere in a bit. But yeah, and I'm trying my best to use different items in each of my builds, because I've spent the last 6-7 years of playing The Sims4 just using the same stuff, because it's all I know and it's all I like. So I am trying to use different items within my builds. So, but yeah, I mean, if anyone's got any ideas on what other packs I can download or buy, please let me know. Or custom content. I'm a big custom content advocate. I love downloading custom content. It's great. As you can see, as you will see, I do have lots of cars and Apple Macs and whatnot. There are other brands obviously available. But yeah, so like I say, I was originally trying to do a 3-story, but I knew from fairly early on that 3 stories wouldn't be feasible. But I knew 3-bed would be, and kind of make 3 decently sized double bedrooms. So, but yeah, so this is the point where I think I should add the lounge on at the back, almost like a little conservatory. You could turn it into a little conservatory or sunroom. I do put a normal roof on, but you could put a see-through roof on just to let a bit more light in. And I try and make it a reasonable size. So as you can see, I've tried not to make it outlandishly big. I think my first build, my 10k build, I made way too big. I could have made that a lot smaller for the same stuff. So this one I kind of went on the slightly smaller side, just adding on a bit of room on the outside of the main building off of where the kitchen and the stairs are. So yeah, I'm experimenting with new doors and stuff. I do like those doors, so I'm going to try not to use them again for the next couple of videos. But yeah, the money did start going down very quickly. I mean, I'm probably about a third of the way through the build, and I'm almost halfway through my money, so yeah. And you might find it a bit weird. I always leave my windows till last. I put the doors in quite early on, but I always leave the windows till last so I can add in stuff that I want and then know where I can put the windows instead of doing it the other way around. It's probably not that realistic, and I can certainly work on doing it kind of in a more realistic way. Windows, doors first, all that type of stuff. But I'm still new to this whole build challenge, so... But I did have a lot of fun with it. And I love kind of making floors and all that type of stuff. I'm very boring. But yeah, I use this floor for the kitchen / entryway, and I don't think I've ever used it before in any of my builds in the 6-7 years that I've been playing this game, so it was a random time to start using it now, but I think it works okay. I normally put wood down for kind of the downstairs area, but I went with carpet just to make it a little bit warmer. You kind of think the more expensive the house, the more kind of vinyl flooring there would be, or kind of wooden, hardwood floor, or kind of stone, slate type stuff. So I think as I do more expensive builds, that will come into play a bit more. There'll be a bit more stone, more marble. I mess around with this garage as well quite a lot at some point. I have a little bit of fun plonking down a carpet in the lounge as well. I think this lounge is really functional. It's a really nice space. Got lots of sofas, lots of seating, a couple of windows. And yeah, just reasonably cozy-ish house. Well, I reckon up to 5 Sims could probably live. So kind of like a married couple with 3 kids. Just have to swap out one of the bedrooms and put 2 twin beds in, as opposed to a double bed. But I went with a double bed, just pretend that the children have grown up, and or I've only got 2 kids, so pretend I've only got 2 kids, and they've both grown up and they've got double beds. This garage was a bit of a nightmare. I love having a garage just for some extra space and some extra bits. You can put all your handiwork out there and all that type of stuff, but it was a nightmare trying to make it so I had enough money for everything. It's just a bit of a nightmare. I dare say the more experienced I get in doing these build challenges, the easier I'll find it to add stuff in, but yeah, for the time, these first couple of builds have been pretty tricky for me. And here we go again, experimenting with new lights and whatnot. And I kind of find that once I find one that I like, I tend to stick with it for however long. And it's not always the best. I tend to go with these little saucer ones, which I'm looking for here, I think. Just purely because they're small and you don't really see them, but they pump out some decent-ish light. But it's not very homey, really. You wouldn't. I don't think you really get them in in kind of a normal house. Not everywhere anyway. So I kind of went for a few more kind of dangly lights. I put like that awesome little light into the downstairs powder room, would you call it? I don't know. I just put a toilet and a sink in. Leave the bathroom and whatnot upstairs. Yeah, I love building kitchens as well. All my kitchens tend to look the same though, so I think this kitchen looks very similar to my 10K build, which is a bit bizarre, but the layout anyway of it. I have used different. Oh, excuse me. I have used different items, but and again, like the cooker I went for. If you watch what happens, I go for the fridge without realising that it's 14 grand. I look at my money. Oh, crumbs, I've only got 7 grand left. So I have to get rid of that one. But it's going to be fun doing the bigger build, the more expensive build challenges when you get up to 100 grand or 200, 300, 400, whatever. And you can start putting in really expensive items. That's when it's going to get really good fun. But I've learnt a lot from these first 2 builds. I'm not going to count my house build as like my own house build as experience, but experience at sticking to a budget and making sure I don't go over that. However tricky it was for me has been really, really beneficial, I think, and it's been really good fun. Just knowing that I can do it and knowing that it is possible to stick to any kind of a budget, really. I'm slowly learning to add in a bit more materials to the kitchens as well. All my kitchens used to be really bare, but adding in cupboards and other little bits just really makes it come together. That may have been slightly overkill. I could have got away with 1 or 2 cupboards, but I went for the whole kind of section. And I love an island as well, so I love putting in an island. Just gives an extra seating area. Albeit this is only a small one. But if you're just in a rush and you're just grabbing a quick bite to eat and you don't necessarily want to sit down at the table, you don't need to. You can just sit up at the island and spend 5-10 minutes there and disappear. I have an itchy face. Sorry. But yeah, so haven't even started on the upstairs yet, and I've burnt through nigh on 35,000 simoleons, which was not ideal, but I am really looking forward to getting stuck into these challenges. I've thought about ever since I saw kind of the Sim Supply, Little Simsy and Deligracy and all these big Sims 4 YouTubers kind of doing all these challenges. I've wanted to do it, and I'm loving the fact that I've finally taken the plunge after 5 or 6 years. And all right, my build skills are nowhere near the likes of James Turner and Kayla, Little Simsy, but I'm putting my own little spin on it, and that's all that matters, really. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just go with an idea, and because everyone's going to come up with different things, and I think that's what's so interesting about these build challenges is seeing what other people can do with 50k, 10k, whatever. It's like James Turner's done some unbelievable builds. He did the farmhouse he did a few years ago. Just wow, unbelievable. I know I'll never be of that standard of Lil Simsy or or Sim Supply or Deligracy, any of those three. There are more, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But like they're amazing simmers. And one day I hope I'll be able to make something comparable to anything that they've built, but it's going to be a long, long road. But it's great fun. You mean having a plan, because I tend to go into a house build normally for a sim that I'm playing with, and just like I want to build a big house with lots of stuff, lots of mod cons, and a big YouTube creating room. And then I spend like 300,000 simoleons and I just end up deleting it because it's completely fake. But these build challenges, you've actually got a plan and you've got a budget to stick to, and I think that makes it so much easier to kind of stick with. And I do try and sneakily build a bigger TV, but then I think no, that's not honest. I've only got the money for a small TV. It would be cheating to make a big TV out of a little TV. One thing I have done though, I have put the move objects, cheat in inverted commas, on just so I can put things in weird places so they don't stick out and all that type of stuff. But I don't think it actually mattered much for this build. That's generally the only real cheat I use. Just so I can, just so you can use, because it's more realistic. You like put stuff in the corner of the room, whereas if you don't have it on, it kind of sticks out a little bit. So that's the only real thing I use. And I went with these couches as well. Not my everyday pick, but they look comfortable-ish and they were reasonably priced. So I thought 2 or 3 would be okay. And I think it works quite well. I hope my Sims can, or if I use this house, I hope the Sims I use can actually get into the seating area. Otherwise, I'll have to rejig it slightly. And I think it worked pretty well with the rug that I put down as well. I just love that carpet in the lounge as well. I want to try and get something like that for my actual house. All the really nice carpets are massive. It's bizarre. And this took me a little while trying to figure out what kind of a colour I really wanted. And settled with this nice. And I thought that complemented the colour of the sofas quite nicely as well. It's a little bit dark, but I personally think it works. I mean, my taste may not be great, but bringing a little bit of light with that coffee table. Then just to save a little bit of money, because I've only got 14.5 grand to spend on the upstairs, get rid of those 2 little bits of table. Make the porch a little bit smaller. Don't need a massive porch. Just end up making everything a little bit tighter. I realised downstairs that you don't necessarily need a big bathroom. It's always nice having a bathroom downstairs, but got one. As long as you got a toilet downstairs, then again, you don't even really need 2 toilets. It's just it's a privilege to have more than one of something, but it works well. It works well in a lot of houses, especially the bigger the house. And I think this worked quite well. I think the size of these bedrooms are pretty decent. I mean, I'm very poor at putting in, kind of kitting out bedrooms and stuff like that. I do think about putting in an additional bedroom here, but I messed it up slightly. So I have to do that again. So I do try and think about putting another bedroom in here, but I mean, it would be a tiny, tiny bedroom. Plus it would take up, if I made it a little bit bigger, it wouldn't be able to get into the the bedroom there. So I use the bit over the lounge for a bedroom as well, but which I think works quite well. I think I end up making that the master bedroom, just because it's a little bit bigger. What is it, 6x5, whereas the others are 4x4 and 5x4. So, and I make a reasonable bathroom as well. I mean, 3x3 has got enough room for a shower or a bath, a toilet, and a sink. It's all you really need. And I think I did forget to put another mirror in. I'm terrible at putting mirrors in the bathrooms. But yeah, slowly starting to run out of money, which, well, no, not slowly, fast running out of money. 10 grand. Barely got the upstairs anywhere near finished. So those doors hit me hard as well. But again, it's all part of it. Like I even found that really good fun. I thought, well, I'm running out of money. I need to conserve money. Where can I cut corners? Where can I save a couple of pound or a couple of simoleons here and there? And I think I was reasonably successful. Okay, like I say, it's not the best house you'll see on the market, but it's functional and it's pretty cheap for maybe not your first home, but a second home, third home maybe, when you've got like a reasonable job. Again, I can't remember how much this house was actually worth by the end of it, but and there's a lot of land that comes with it, so there's plenty of room for expansion and stuff. You could put a garage on, you could then put a room over the garage, taking the bedroom that's over the lounge, moving it somewhere so you can make the lounge into a conservatory, like a proper conservatory with a glass roof, glass ceiling. But yeah, so I got just under 8 grand to kit out 3 bedrooms in 2 bathrooms, so 1 bathroom and 1 toilet. So it's about at this point I start kind of worrying, because I don't want to choose the really cheap beds. But obviously I can't afford to spend lots of money on the expensive beds. I do end up making these rooms slightly bigger just so I can get a chest of drawers in. Just to guarantee the Sims being able to get in to the bedroom and the bed, both sides of the bed. And this was good fun as well. I enjoyed kind of picking different chest of drawers than I would normally use. Especially for this room, this little kind of box drawer thing. Oh, excuse me, hiccups. But yeah, like I say, I use the same bed in all 3 rooms, just with different toppings. I just thought it was nice. I just thought maybe they went to IKEA one day, and although there are other bed stores, and just saw this and thought, you know what, we could all do with a double bed. So yeah, that was my thought process behind that. And yeah, I kind of make sure that there's a chest of drawers in each of the rooms and whatnot. And then the bathroom. Again, the bathroom is very simple. Just a bath, a toilet, and a sink. It's very, very simple. Again, there is there's more room for improvement. This is where I get rid of the garage. I can't remember how many simoleons it saves me. I think it saves me quite a few. I think there's about 1,000 simoleons I get back. So that's 780. Yeah, so around about 1,000. Just over 1,000. So that kind of made me feel a bit better, because I had the upstairs bedrooms kind of done-ish. This is kind of like a base house, like if you moved into it and it was furnished. So you'd have if you move into a furnished house, generally there's beds, generally there's sofas, generally there's an area for a telly and all that type of stuff. The bathrooms are fitted and all that type of stuff. So it's kind of like you're just about to move in, so then you're going to put all your own stuff and your own spin on this house. But yeah, and I realised that my bathroom is very white at the moment. The bath is very white, the toilet is very white. I kind of went with these industrial sinks just purely because they look functional. They look like they're going to get lots of use. They've got cleaning stuff underneath, which is always good. I can't remember what I was thinking here, but okay. Well, I'm not really sure what I was doing there, but yeah, and then I kit out the bathroom, downstairs toilet rather. I try and make sure I use the same toilet, the same sink. I just think I like continuity really. And like the same with the chairs downstairs. I went with the red dining chairs to match the red island chairs. So stools, I guess you'd call them. I'm a little bit frustrated about this entryway now.
No.
Which is very open. I mean, you probably could have put a mat down or something, but just thought I'd leave it open for no real reason. Now comes the outdoors. I always have my back doors at the end of the back of the house. But I went for the side of the house this time, just cause really. I just thought it looked pretty. It looked quite nice, and you'll see in a minute that I have like a little path that leads from the doors around to the back of the house to a little patio area. I chose these windows as well. I think these windows are amazing. I think I'm going to use these windows again. They look so just really nice. I love the pattern on it. I love the triangle towards the top, or the kind of little arrow, almost a shallow arrowhead, with the kind of top frame bits. I just think that, so I ended up using those windows for using that window for kind of shape for all the windows in the house. Bit of a cop out maybe. Plus they were only 30 simoleons each.
Yeah.
So I saved a little bit of money. That was my son shouting yes. He's on a Zoom at the moment.
Goodbye.
He is just saying goodbye to his school classmates, as we are currently in lockdown. So,
Which is very annoying.
Which is very annoying. Yeah, you are quite right there, boy. It's one of those things, though. It's one of those things. We're in a global pandemic, so yeah, we got to protect everyone. Protect as many people as we can. So stay indoors, wear your masks, etc., etc. Have your tests, have your vaccines. Government conspiracy or not. I personally am not of that way inclined, but you know. Okay. I think the roof structure I used for this house works quite well as well. The back one over the master bedroom maybe doesn't work that well, but you know, I think it works. I think it works well enough for this build. So the main roof is decent, in my opinion. It makes it look like a nice normal house. a nice kind of slanted roof over the porch. And then another little slanted roof over the bedroom and lounge. It just breaks up the dimensions of the house as well. I make a lot of square builds with square roofs and all that type of stuff, and I think this kind of breaks it up a little bit. So you've got not only have you got the main bulk of the house, you've got the little porch, and you've got the rear kind of, it almost looks like it's excuse me, it's an extension in its own right of and then I look for a cool brightish colour to paint it. Settle with this lovely little blue. Wouldn't want to be a plane flying anywhere near the house, but I like painting my houses one colour as well. I will experiment in future videos with multiple colours, but I think just for now, I think this colour really works for this house. But I mean, that's my opinion, so everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You may hate it. I quite like it. I do mess around with this perimeter as well. I just don't think it fits the house. It doesn't look like the type of house that would have like a full-on wall around it with gates and all that type of stuff. I do spend way too much time thinking about this fence. But I think what I do with it makes sense, and I think it works quite well. You'll see shortly. Do I do it now? Yeah, I think I'm doing it now. Just putting in a couple of paths and stuff like that. It's a nice path for somebody to enter the house and not get run over by a car. And I think about making just one large patio area out the front, but I realise it makes it look a bit too blocky. So I kind of make sure there's enough room for a couple of cars, maybe not side by side yet, but definitely one behind the other. You've probably got room for 4 cars there. And then a nice grassy area in the middle, which kind of breaks it up a little. And yeah, you've still got room to park up and walk into the house. I know the Sims don't really care about paths, but and I do love these hedges. So I do try and get these hedges in, but I think I get rid of them. But yeah, and I always forget about my post box as well. But yeah, just adding on a few kind of necessities with the old bins and whatnot. I probably could have left it there, to be fair. Like, obviously sorting the rear of the build out, but I think as far as the front goes, I think it looks decent with the hedgerow, the wall around the perimeter. But I think I end up thinking that it's not, for lack of a better phrase, it's not posh enough. So you think of like a full-on perimeter around a building for kind of like a mansion or a celebrity home, and this is by far no celebrity home. It's a 50,000 simoleon build. You're not going to get many millionaires living in this build. And this is where I make this kind of quaint little, is quaint the right word? I don't know. This nice little patio where you can walk around the side of the house. It doesn't stick out too much. And you have like a good sized patio out the back. Lots of room to plant stuff. Space for a swimming pool if you wanted to put a swimming pool in. I was going to build a basement for an additional couple of rooms, a gym, a proper office, but I kind of go against that. I love a barbecue as well. Just make it vegetarian. I use these nice little log seating area, which I do put off centre, which, sorry for those with OCD, it annoys me as well. But I thought it was more realistic. So there was a bit of space to stand kind of to the side of it, as opposed to it being in the middle and you kind of having to have a conversation around the logs. So that was my thought process around that. I think I don't know if I've painted indoors yet. I don't know if I've decorated indoors necessarily. So I think I realised that at some point. Sorry, a bit of a sore throat. That's what happens when I talk a lot. I've talked for about 35 minutes. But yeah, I think there's a lot of room for improvement in this build. If you want to chuck another 20 grand on it, you can make some really, really nice improvements inside and out, I reckon. But I think for the amount of money I spent on the build, I think I did decent for 50,000 simoleons, I think. And no way did I think I would get 877 simoleons to decorate the entire inside of the house. But amazingly, spoiler alert, I did. I try and contrast it with light and dark. I don't know if that really works, but a darkish living room with a lightish other area, kitchen area, lounge, dining room area, that type of thing. And the same upstairs, really. I tried to make it brightish. Apart from that one's a little bit dark, but you got like the orange and purple and all that type of stuff. I think it works quite well with the pink bathroom. But yeah, it's coming to the end now. See, I painted the inside of that entire house for less than $900 simoleons. I keep saying pounds or dollars. It annoys me. And yes, I do realise that I've not really decorated properly, so there's no real artwork. I also realise that I've not got any space for an office either. So I kind of go against having this perimeter, and I do kind of think, it's a cheapish house. They're not going to have loads of perimeter fencing and all that type of stuff. It's just not going to happen. So it takes me ages to realise that I got rid of one of the walls by the toilet as well downstairs, which is frustrating. But I do realise, and I do fill it in. So, but yeah, make like this little office space with a computer and stuff. Give them a nice executive chair. Comfort is a must if you're going to be sat there for a while, and a decent computer. Immersive bend. It takes it to 3,360, so 350 simoleons left. Do I do anything else? Oh yeah, I put a few plants in. The porch. This takes me way longer than it should have done as well. It's like some of these plants are quite deceptive in their size. They're quite small. And even the one that I choose it's not exactly massive, but I think it works okay. Could have put some floor mats in, but yeah, I do eventually remember to fill in that gap in the toilet, but Then I realised, I need a car. So yeah, I hope you like my choice of car. I get all my cars of custom content from Laurie Sims. But I don't think it's too bad. Like, I think it's functional, it works, there's plenty of space. Alright, possibly could be a little bit bigger, but for 50,000 simoleons, I think it's an okay job. It's definitely livable. You can eat there, you can sleep there, you've got a good seating area in the lounge, outdoor area, you've got a lot of space. 3 biggish bedrooms, 1 biggish bathroom, one biggish bathroom upstairs, toilet downstairs. Decent-ish space for dining. Probably could have put a bit more lights upstairs. But I think it works, you know. Put a desk in, put a computer in, so he's got room to work. Room to work, room to rest, room to play. You put a swimming pool in once you start earning some simoleons. But yeah. And then all my builds have got to have cars. But then I realise I've only got 9 simoleons. So this takes me a long time to kind of know what I've got to do to get a car on the drive. It's a bit overkill. I do get rid of this entire wall, but like I said, I just don't think it suits the house. I think it's not expensive enough to warrant having a full perimeter fencing. Maybe one day, like I say, once it's had 20, 30, 40, 50 1,000 simoleons spent on it, then maybe. I think what kind of a person would live here? Someone who works with their hands, someone who's pretty practical, so could do with a nice Land Rover. Plus, I haven't used this in the game, I don't think, before. I downloaded it a couple of weeks ago, but I just thought it was awesome. But yeah, so that was 50k. Thank you very much.